The other kind, the ancient otherworldly owners of magic in the DC universe have returned to reclaim what is theirs, and they don't care who gets hurt in the crossfire. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into Justice League Dark number 2 and find out. Alrighty then, so this issue opens up with a little flashback to young Diana's first exposure to magic as a young girl. She snuck out at night to see what the witches of Themyscira got up to during their rituals. And no, it's not the fun kind of sapphic display you might be thinking of, it's straight up evil Macbeth stuff. One that left both very literal and very figurative scars on Diana that she's still dealing with today. Now, in the present, Wonder Woman and the rest of her not quite a team yet mop up what remains of the other kind zombies. She's happy for the help, but at the same time she's a little incensed that after all her begging and pleading with the magic community in the DC universe, it's only right here, right now did they choose to show up and help her when the world is quite literally ending all around them. All the same, hurt feelings are gonna have to be put on the back burner right now because everyone is at a loss and they're going to need to hit up someone much smarter than them if they want any insight into what exactly it is they're fighting right now. And for that, they decide to visit the Mac Daddy numero uno of magic in the DC universe, none other than Dr. Fate himself, the original Lord of Order. Of course, Dr. Fate is actually made up of two very distinct personalities, Naboo, the actual magical one, and Kent Nelson, the kindly old dude who wears the helmet of fate. Naboo wants to help, but at the same time, he's not afraid to exercise the same kind of magic snootiness and elitism we've seen all throughout the series up until now. He tells Man Bat and Bobo to leave, saying that the information he's about to share with our heroes is not for layman's, either that or he doesn't want fleas and ticks inside his magical tower, and can anyone blame him? You'll never get him out. Swamp Thing didn't even bother to get an invitation. He left to go look at the Wonder Tree again. It's there he's met by John Constantine, who has admittedly been acting really strange in this series. John is worried about Swamp Thing, but more importantly, he's worried about Alec Holland, the man who is supposedly inside Swamp Thing, but who seems harder and harder to find. Swampy admits that he's slowing down, getting old, growing a gross Alan Moore beard, and he hopes that if he can settle business with this alien tree, then maybe, just maybe, the Parliament of Trees will allow him Swamp Thing retirement and find a new host for the Green. What do you think one gets for Swamp Thing retirement? Gold watch? Now back over with Dr. Fate, he goes into full-on backstory mode, talking about how in the beginning, when man first found magic, it was raw and untapped. Because of that, they had to create things like the Helmet of Fate, wands, crystals, and all sorts of things just to even channel the power. But now that the source wall is broken and the lines between reality are starting to blur, magic in its purest uncut forms is returning again. And with it, the original monstrous masters of magic, the other kind. You gotta admit, Dr. Fate sure seems to know a lot about this, and that's because Dr. Fate is the one who let the other kind in. In fact, the whole time our heroes have been talking to Dr. Fate, it's just been Naboo. Kent Nelson hasn't been seen in weeks, and we even get to see Khalid, the former DCU Dr. Fate. He's been imprisoned by the Tower too. Naboo's completely gone off the reservation now, and he doesn't care who he hurts. Naboo does, however, say before he tries to feed Wonder Woman and Zatanna to a giant monster that magic was never meant for mankind, and there'll be more order and happier once it's gone. And it's right around there that the comic ends, everyone. So that's Justice League Dark issue number 2, and while I was a little lukewarm on issue 1, this second issue really got me on board. I like the little Wonder Woman flashbacks to her original exposure to magic. I feel that's going to be really important coming up as we're getting a big Wonder Woman Justice League Dark crossover around Halloween. I like that James Tynion isn't afraid to write Swamp Thing as old and tired and broken down and mention all the stuff with the red and the green that Snyder was experimenting with and that we never really saw again. Heck, I especially like the idea of turning Naboo into something of a villain. I always thought that he had that in him, and so to actually see it play out here in this story is awesome. Overall, I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. I'm definitely on board to see where this story is going from here.
Hey there everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and as always, if you liked what you see, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at CaveJoel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And if you're feeling in a generous mood, you might also want to check out my Patreon page. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. So until next time everyone, this has been CaveJoel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.